manifestation of this awful strategy was the ad showing Max Cleland and Osama bin Laden. Now, this is personal to me. Senator Cleland and I have been friends for way over 20 years. It's long before anyone thought either one of us would ever amount to what we wound up doing. And I will go to my grave regretting that the minute this happened, I did not call and volunteer what I knew should be done. Because I had forgotten the level of physical and emotional exhaustion that Max must have faced, given the demands of every day on him. To be a senator, to raise money, to engage in the campaign, then to think about what to do about this ad. All right, so we blew that. It's done. It's over. But I'll say again, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. The real national security interest that Georgia had was not in any way, shape, or form addressed by that bill. Did it give you any more money to secure Hartsfield Airport? No. Did it give you any more assurance that it would be harder to blow up the water systems of Georgia? Look at the water problems you had here in Georgia. Remember that? Could have happened a lot earlier if somebody just gone and blown up the municipal water system. In other words, it was a total sham or scam. Okay. Now, 6 years hence, we come to a new election. Yes. And they have now reaped the whirlwind of their previous decision. And the economy is in wreckage, and this thing nearly ran off the tracks, folks. Now, we're on the way to putting it back now. And you have this incredibly gifted man saying, hey, those aren't my politics. I spent my whole life believing that the purpose of politics was to empower people to live better lives. I wouldn't know how to scare people into voting for me. I want people to want to vote for me. I would prefer it if every single vote I got was a sensate person actually thinking when they went in. This is important to me. I want the national, I know about this. I did this for 8 years. I want people in the U.S. Senate thinking about the national security of this country who are not necessarily experts, but have their minds and their hearts in the right place and their heads screwed on straight, and who would never, ever, ever take a cheap shot like that. Yes. So this election is not about getting even for what happened to Max Cleland, but it is about remembering what makes for good public service. It is about remembering what makes good public policy on national security, as well as taking a new direction in the economy and energy and straightening out this financial mess. And I think that you have rarely had a chance to vote for a person who brings more good qualities, more good life experiences, and more sheer instinctive as well as developed ability to the kinds of decisions the next United States Senate will have to make is Jim Martin. I know I am preaching to the choir here, but I'm doing it. There is a method to my madness. So you raised almost $200,000 tonight, and I thank you for that. You've got a weekend plus a week to turn this election. Yeah. You have the momentum. You know he ought to win. Yeah. The reason I spent some time going through this with you is I believe that there are plenty of moderates and conservatives in Georgia that if they really understood both the issues and how this whole thing came to be, would recoil in the face of it and would say, This is the sort of person I want to be represented by. And I do not want to send a signal to Washington, D.C. that no matter what happens in this presidential election, it's okay to go back to politics as usual. It is not okay. So you have to understand, you can do yourselves a favor and you can do a good turn for America, and you can make it much, much more likely that we can actually change America and not just change who's occupying these seats in Washington by electing Jim Martin to the United States Senate.